Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith. All right.
There is no image on it. So whatever
Okay.
created the image on the shroud, it did not create any image on the cloth. But given how it's described in its placement separate from the burial shroud in John 20, it appears to not have been on the body when whatever put the image on the shroud put the image on the shroud. So okay. The image on the right is not helpful because it looks like a mask, and that's not what we're looking at here.
Okay.
Only
Let's
the
see.
top left image
Okay, this one.
is helpful. Yeah. So what you're looking at here, that image is actually backwards. In
see.
person, it is flipped around the other way. So that thing right in the middle that looks like a seahorse head or something poking up. What you're looking at, the top rectangle
Is
area.
this better? This image here?
Yeah, go back, zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you can see now it's flipped around correctly, and you can see you're only looking at about the left 2/3 of it, right, in this case. But those are blood stains. They are type A, or type AB, just like is on the shroud. Type AB is the rarest blood type by a lot, and it is 3 times more common in Mediterranean Jews than it is Europeans. Also, that is post-mortem blood. The serum is separated just like on the shroud, and it is 6 parts pulmonary edema to 1 part blood, which is what gets generated in the lungs during asphyxiation, which is the primary means of cause of death in crucifixion. So it matches the shroud in a number of ways, and you can see that. So the backside over on the left, that butterfly shape, is that corresponds to okay. So let me go back over here on the right. There is you can see it sketched out just slightly is the shape of the nose, and right in the middle of
Right
the
here?
yeah. So the reason why there's kind of this concentric nest of stains, because the blood gets deposited in in a series of deposits, and so it's kind of like setting your coffee mug down on a coaster, repeatedly when you're dripping a little bit off, and it creates these rings. So it's more condensed around the nose and the mouth there. So you can see kind of the general shape of the nose there. And that's where it's getting caught in the beard. So that tail going down off the bottom, below that area, you can see where that's going to curve around the beard there. And then if you scroll up on the image, then you have this kind of this vertical stream, and then that rectangle shape there is the forehead. And if you match up the nose there with the nose on the shroud, not only do all the proportions fit, but as it wraps around to the left where that butterfly shape stain is, that butterfly shape stain
Right here?
Yeah.
This bottom part here.
Yeah. That ends up registering perfectly with the hair on going down the back of the man in the shroud, which is in a funnel kind of ponytail.
Wow.
So either the man on the back of on the shroud had a ponytail, and that was part of Jewish fashion back then for men, or the hair was gathered together in order to pin this to the hair, and then a blood clot formed where it got pinned, and it retained the shape of the ponytail. But what you see is that blood clot matches the where the hair goes perfectly, and then if you scroll up a little bit, nope, go
Right
back.
here.
Yeah, that cluster of stains, there's almost a very similar set of stains on the back of the man of the shroud, and this is what you would expect to find from wounds left by a crown of thorns. And in fact, there are also a bunch of pinholes that show how it would all get collected together or anchored to the hair. So probably this is where it's pinned to the hair, and then as it wraps around to the front of the face, it matches exactly. And then in the shroud, in the Sudarium as we first saw it, there's whatever the other other image was, where you see the whole Sudarium. You'll see this. Okay, so see how in the top left, there is a reflected stain from that primary stain, and that's because when it was put on the body, it had to get folded back in order to it got folded back because it couldn't go all the way around the head, probably because the man's head was rocked forward and to the right against his arm, so they couldn't wrap it all the way around the head. So in order to recreate the stains that you see, researchers have been able to figure out um, cloth was put on the head of a crucified man for right when he died, for about 45 minutes to an hour, and the head was rocked forward and slightly to the right. And then the body was taken down, laid on the ground, face down on the forehead with the feet slightly elevated. And it was stayed in that position for 45 minutes to an hour. And that's what enables the blood to run up the nose and pool on the forehead. Okay, so that's how that
Wow.
shape happens. And then the third position is the body is flipped face up for about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And so if you think about all that timing, that would correspond with the timing of Joseph of Arimathea getting permission to take the body and then burying him. That 5 minute time span where he's flipped up is, the distance between Golgotha and the Holy Sepulchre. If you've ever been to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, is, it's less than 50 yards, so you can easily make that in less than 5 minutes. And there are marks from a forefinger
Incredible.
and thumb that reach over the face and are pinching it on the nose. And the whole reason why there is a cloth on the face of Jesus in the first place is because the Jews, even Orthodox Jews to this day, believe that the soul is contained in the lifeblood of the body. And so if a Jew dies violently and they get blood on the clothes, you cannot separate the soul from the body. You got to bury the blood with the body. So the bloody clothes are buried with the body, or the blood that falls onto dirt, you collect the dirt, you bury it with the body. And so when the corpse is on the cross and this is wrapped around the head, you have all of this fluid in the lungs. The blood is collected in the lungs along with the pulmonary edema, and so when you lift the body up and you're trying to get it off, it starts spewing out the nose and the mouth, and so they have to collect it.
Mhm.
The idea behind the Sudarium.
Wow. I had not researched that before, and as you're sharing it, I'm just getting goosebumps because,
It's
it's
incredible.
yeah, that
And the
is
most important thing about it in terms of shroud research is it has been in Oviedo since the year 711. That's when it got to Asturias. That's the mountainous region that Oviedo is a part of. But during the Muslim invasion of the Iberian Peninsula, it arrived in Asturias and was hidden in the mountains there, so it wouldn't get
wow.
destroyed. It was in a chest of relics, and it's one of many, but it's the most important thing. And then when the king defeated the Muslims in the middle of the 8th century, he founded the town of Oviedo, which is now like 200,000 people, and he built the cathedral. And this is has been at the cathedral since that time. So if it does correspond with the shroud, then it proves that the shroud is older than the radiocarbon date from 1988 by at least 600 years.